What up guys, DLE Kamel here, and little quick video. I just wanted to give my 2 cents thoughts on something that, I was thinking about last week during my tournament Battle Phase Thursday, and I had some more thoughts about when I saw Trap Dexter, congrats by the way, get second place in the Meta Weekly with Stromberg DDD. Now, last week during stream, I was talking a whole lot of crap on DDD because they lost a lot of matchups where I felt they had an impressive lead in some scenarios, but then they were whittled down by decks that I felt they should have beat just due to some inherent weaknesses that the deck has. Some weaknesses around maintaining resources and interrupting your opponent that these other decks that may have not been so prevalent in the past month or so were able to exploit against DDD pretty well. So what were some of the things that I was talking about? Well, if you take a look here at a DDD deck, this is an MCS top 32 deck from Raw, and this is something along the lines of, this is what I've seen a lot of people running. Now, the one problem with the DDD deck, the main problem for me, is that the deck right now does not have any hard removal in monster form. The only monsters that do have hard removal in the DDD deck are when people play the Xyz variant, and they include Digital Bug, Rhinoceros, and Constellar Ptolemy 7. Now, does this have anything to say about the archetype that because on their own they cannot remove stuff? Yes and no, right? Other decks, of course, they have access to boss monsters that are not always part of their archetype, and they make use of them just fine as a part of their win condition. Why is it such a problem for DDD? The reason I feel it's such a problem is because in order to get into one of these Xyz monsters, for you to set up a play with removal for the next turn, you need to have 2 level 6 DDD fusions on the field. They have to be level 6, so you can either use your Savant Nicola, your Proud Ogre, or your Flame King Genghis. Now, if you don't open these cards, you're gonna have to search them, via Dark Contract with the Gate, and use Swirl Slime or Dark Contract with the Swamp King to get out your fusion for Flame King Genghis. And it ends up being a pretty convoluted play. You have to use a lot of your resources to commit to one Xyz monster, and then after that you kind of have to figure out what you're going to do next with your strategy, because you have run through several cards. The other main part of the DDD deck that I think that stands out as a main component is the continuous trap card Dark Contract with the Witch. Many people are playing this at 1 right now because you are able to search it very efficiently. You're able to search it with Dark Contract. No, excuse me. You are not. You're able to search it with Savant Kepler. This adds a Dark Contract or DD card, right? No, adds a Dark Contract. Sorry, guys, I'm misspeaking a little bit. So a lot of people run this at 1, but just my 2 cents, let me know what you think. I think a card like this needs to be run in multiple copies because it is your main deck removal option that you can activate on your opponent's turn at the cost of a DD or Dark Contract card from your hand having to be destroyed, and then all Fiend monsters on your field gain 1,000 during your opponent's turn only. Now, I think this card is massive. It helps you clap back against your opponent when you just have DDD monsters and you don't have any other forms of inherent removal. If you have already used your Rhinoceros, Dark Contract with the Witch is your fallback option that you can use each and every turn, and it will also proc your skill Contract Procrastination, making it so you can skip your standby phase every single turn. Now, on to my main problems with the deck. I've got some tournament footage here. I'm gonna have it play in the background. My main issue that I saw with DDD over the course of this tournament is that they would often fully commit to either having an offensive board with many high attack point monsters like you've just seen, or they have tried to go the full Xyz route and then depend on whatever DD cards they have left over in order to make follow-up plays. Now, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but it is pretty effective. If you are able to get Rhinoceros out before your opponent is able to establish their strategy, you're likely going to win that duel. You have a lot of control over it. But if you do not have that much control over it, if you're forced to use cards like Dark Contract with the Gate to search cards like Savant Nicola and Savant Kepler just to get your combo pieces going, the less cards you're able to use to search, you know, Dark Contract with the Gate and the things that you need to set up your interruption plays, the more vulnerable you are, I feel. Now, this inherent weakness, you know, it's not the end of the world for a deck like this. I just thought this example is really, really good, right? DDDs had an impressive first turn play here, but they were unable to end the duel, and now Thunder Dragons have established a full board of boss monsters, and because the DDD deck lacks inherent removal to clear multiple guys at once, their only method of recourse is to attack, and that is often not enough. And that is why I think the Stromberg version of this deck is doing so well. Why? Because Stromberg gives you another win condition. It gives you another way to play with your opponent besides just swinging your fat DDD monsters into them. Yes, it's kind of taxing on your deck size because you do, if you really want to make use of this, you have to run 3 Glyph, 3 Stromberg, like Trap Dexter does here. And I think this is the correct ratio. Some other people are playing the castle and the pumpkin and the slipper and the princess, and you know, that's all nice, but it does clog up your deck in the end. Glyph is good because it is also multi-purpose. It lets you destroy back row. But Stromberg is so good is because it does not allow your opponent to destroy your DDD monsters by regular means. They're forced to use their powerful removal effects on this card, right? On this card first and foremost, which means that's one or however much removal they're not going to be using on your DDD monsters. And you have free recourse to set up and keep setting up your DDD board each and every turn in case you're not able to get one or more components off of it. And this deck also has some great synergy with Dark Contract with the Witch. You being able to stall every turn, you pop every turn, you don't take damage, your standby phase every turn because there is no standby phase, and your Stromberg is in the field because you don't banish 10 cards. Now, Stromberg is nice, but of course not everyone wants to play Stromberg. But why do I think Stromberg is the best right now? It's because it gives you that extra layer of threat and that extra layer of protection, and that is something that the DDD deck is missing right now, simply because in the new support, we didn't get any monsters with removal effects or protection effects, and you know, that sucks, dude. I'm just gonna read some of these DDD boys right here that we could have got. Boom, bam, bop, boom. High King Genghis, he negates a spell or trap. That would have been pretty nice to put in this deck. This dude here, Oblivion King, Abyss Ragnarok, he is in the Declan Akaba character deck, level 40. You can target a DD monster in your graveyard, special summon. You only use this effect once per turn. Once per turn, you contribute 1 DD monster, then target a monster on your opponent controls, banish it. That is a pretty balanced, you know, removal effect. Tribute other DD monster, and then you banish your opponents. That's 1 for 1, baby. That's pretty Duel Links, if I do say so myself. Now, of course, cards like this are definitely going to be seen further down the road in support, and I definitely think that because cards like this have the possibility to come to the game, of course, you know, you're never supposed to plan for future support, but it's DDD, it's the main anime archetype of Arc 5, so Konami definitely has a plan for it. And you know, I would like to think that the first cards that we can expect would be the cards that are in Declan's event deck, dude. These are not much more powerful than, you know, the ones we have now. There are some crazy ones over here. I'm not going to read all of them, but let me know in the chat, guys, which DDD boss monsters do you think within reason we could get in Duel Links and actually use. So in conclusion, dude, I'm hyped for DDD, but I am not really impressed, dude. I think that the deck relies way too heavily on Dark Contract with the Witch to keep itself alive. Dark Contract with the Witch and finishing your opponent off early. DDD, while it does allow you to get resources turn after turn due to contract procrastination, Dark Contract with the Gate, you're not able to reestablish your extra deck monsters as frequently as some other decks are, and I think that that is a problem. The extra deck monsters that you get out are not very effective, and you cannot get them out as well as other decks. Those are the two main issues facing this deck right now. Let me know what you think, guys. I will talk to you on Thursday. Peace out, guys. See you later.